Hi, this is the Ivy League astrologer with the April 2015 reading for Vedic Virgo. Please do check into your Vedic signs because they are different than Western signs, so it's worth using the chart calculator to check it out. And as always, you can watch for your sun, moon, rising, and I also think that there's power in watching for the house positions. So yeah, you can make your own decisions there, but just my 2 cents. So yeah, for Vedic Virgos for April, I think there's a real sense of being able to kind of make your environment what you want it to be, or finally kind of pulling together the pieces of what you've been learning. I think for some people that it will be like a real culmination of what you've been learning and kind of seeing your garden grow after getting through all these difficulties. So I think there's an element of that for everybody, but I think for some people it's going to be more like trying to use what's at hand to really make your dream come true, and what you have at hand may not actually be the stuff out of which your dream garden is really made, So there could be sort of like a faulty leg on your table there. A faulty leg in your structure. So just, a word of warning there. I think that it's there, if so, to lift you up to a higher consciousness. Like the disappointment of realizing that there's like sort of like a rotten leg on your chair or on your table or whatever is kind of, it's like you need to go through that and you need to like fall over on that rotten leg in order to realize what it is that you really want or where it is you're really aiming. So yeah, I feel like you're going to feel like all the pieces are coming together. And for some people, I think that is going to be, I think if you've been on a more spiritual path, then I think that is going to be the case for you. But I think if you've been a little bit here and there on your spiritual path, or getting on your spiritual path, but then kind of getting off and getting back on and getting back off, you may still have a few more things you need to learn about kind of what is really going to make you grow and make you happy. So yeah. But I do see it being a time of relative peace, at least at the beginning of the month, or at least that's the first influence that's coming in, where you're feeling like, okay, things are finally settling down a little bit. Or just settling into the right kind of formation, the right kind of pattern, where it feels like now you have more power to make things be the way that you want them to be. And you can kind of apply your dreams in a way, like you're turning your visions into reality. You have that power. And so I feel like you may kind of be galloping off in that direction quite happily, like, great, things are finally coming full circle, and I am so pleased. But again, there's a sense of like, there's some kind of wrong idea you've got here that is going to need more work. Is going to need to be delved into more before you can truly move forward in the way that you want. Something that won't stand. It may have to do with the way that you give your love. Or it could have to do with your balance between your career and your home life, or your career and your inner life. But I feel like there's people who need more from you, and you feel like you're giving all you have, but you're not really. You're not satisfying the real hunger of some people who really need you. And maybe not even your own inner hunger. You may be sort of ignoring what you really want, like the thing that you really want. You may feel like you can't get it, and so you've kind of turned away towards this thing that feels more approachable or more doable. But you may be kind of trying to balance out your sort of big dream or whatever, or like the thing that you feel like you really want and what is present in your life. You may be kind of trying to balance those things out and do a bit of both. I don't think that's going to work out for you in the long term, but it does seem like something that you can at least kind of, that you may be, an energy you may be dealing with this month. But yeah, I feel like that balancing act is kind of putting you on the wrong track somehow. It's like you really need to commit to your big dream. You need to commit to what you really want and dispense with the things that are not getting you to that. But you may be quite attached to those things. You may have been feeding them so they grow, you know, and they may be part of your life now. And it may be not so easy to get rid of them. But I think the idea that you can carry on with both is not realistic. Yeah, you're going to have to find a new way forward that involves kind of scorching back this other stuff that is standing in your way. So I do see that there's like a putting behind you of something that was kind of close to your heart, you know, something that you thought, oh, maybe I can have these both. You know, it's like, to me, it feels sort of like if you have like, and I'm just putting it in relationship terms. It could be honestly anything, you know, but like if you have someone that you really are like, wow, this is the one, this is the person, you know, but then you have another friend, you've got a friend who like there's like some flirty stuff going on, but you know, you're like, oh, it's no big deal, I mean, we're just friends, and like I've still got this other person and whatever, you know, and it's fine. It feels like it's not fine. And that you may have to face that this month and kind of put that other thing behind you in favor of like what you really want. It's definitely a month to choose what you really want and like really boldly kind of stick to it and only do the things that lead you to what you really want. Otherwise, I think you may be very disappointed in the way that things turn out. Or you may just end up having to repeat an old cycle or something, which... yeah. Or just feel like you're being pulled by like a current further away from the future what you want rather than closer to it. And again, this may be just stuff that seems sort of innocent, but maybe getting the better of you somehow. And for other people, I think it could be, you know, you're in a relationship with somebody who you like and all, and, you know, you're thinking like, oh, maybe I'll move it forward. This is kind of going back to, I think, what was happening with Virgo last month, where you're like, oh, maybe I'll move it forward because I don't see this, like, you know, perfect person coming into view. And maybe that's just a fantasy anyway, and maybe that's not a real thing, and maybe I should just go with what's here in front of me. And it's like, even if you don't see this person in front of you, even if you don't have two people that you're choosing between, you still have to choose the ideal. You have to choose the thing that you really want. In order to make room for it to come into your life, you can't settle. That's what it is. You can't settle. Because that's just going to end you right back up where you are now, kind of, but like worse. It's just not going to be useful to you. So I feel like you have that strength available to you this month, if you're aware of it. Yeah, okay, I think this is still talking about, like, you could kind of lose this bigger thing that you want or preclude that bigger thing from coming into your life by kind of, you know, pissing away is the phrase that comes to mind. Pissing away, like, I don't know, just like frittering away your energy on stuff that doesn't matter to you as much, or just kind of committing where your heart is not fully in it, you know, because you've gotten cynical or something, or you don't quite believe in, like, you know, the real love or whatever, or the perfect job or whatever. And, you know, there really is like no such thing as perfect, but there are things as like really perfect fits that where you feel it. Like, you should not be settling for any kind of relationship. Jobs are a little different, you know, but you should not be settling for any kind of relationship where you're like, yeah, I like you a lot, you know, especially if you're moving into a phase of like super commitment or something, you know, what you should be feeling is like, wow, you know, and even if it's like a mellowed wow, because it's been a while or whatever, but you should feel absolutely sure. There shouldn't be, you know, a sense of like, I mean, yeah, you're great. Like, you know, there should be no shrug, no shrug in the proposition, you know, because I think that's going to end you maybe missing a better opportunity that's coming along. So, yeah. I feel like if you don't see this, like, kind of good thing this month that you may just like have a gut feeling about it, or you may even like dream about it or something. But yeah. Yeah, and you may be feeling sort of like, why can't I, like, you know, whatever. It's like, we're just friends or whatever. Like, why can't I just be hanging out with this person? And like, why would it affect how I feel about this other person? And it may not seem logical, you know, you may be feeling like deprived or something, or like, why would I have to give this up, you know, in order to get this? But it feels like it is a month in which you kind of do have to give up what matters less to you in order to kind of be true to what matters more to you somehow. And for some people, this could be a vision of the future in which you were like, oh, and we'll do it like this. And then like the people, because last month, again, it was like kind of wanting to move forward without regard to the people involved in the situation. So it could be that your vision of that situation that would be like, oh yeah, no, it'll totally work out, is kind of coming apart at the seams. And you need to honor that if that is happening. Yeah, that's what this is about. If that's happening, if your vision of like, oh yeah, well, we'll just do it this way and it'll be great, is kind of coming apart at the seams, you need to recognize that and honor that and kind of start over. You know, it's like, or just take what's true from that situation. Just hold off. That's what that is. Just hold off on any big future plans if you're not like 100% about it. So I think there's more information to come. And here again, I have a sense of like someone who you haven't spoken to in a while having some important information for you, or having some information that bears on this situation. And that could change things. It's either someone you haven't spoken to in a while, or somebody who you are not, who you're on like a parallel track with, you know, who you don't have like sort of a primary relationship with, but there's something about them or that they're going to bring into your life that's important, that is not yet visible. It's just starting to come into view. But yeah, you don't want to be too precipitous, because I feel like you are in danger of kind of committing strongly to the wrong thing this month. So you need to check in emotionally. Yeah, don't rush in. Take your time. Just kind of work on it bit by bit, you know. Has kind of a be where you are feeling. Like, enjoy what is there in the present. And that is going to add up to something that you can't really see just yet. But don't be trying to like grab victory, you know. Don't try to wrestle a victory out of this situation. Don't try to be like, so we're getting married and it's going to be great. Oh my gosh. Because it's like, that's not really, there is a victory coming for you, but there's more that needs to come out before you can really even get a glimpse of that. And that's really happening on God's time. It is definitely like an angelic, it's like a higher plan that's being guided. So you can't rush it. There's nothing you can do about it really, except for not commit yourself prematurely to something that's not the right thing. Yeah. I feel like there's going to be an offer. Like, I feel like almost for some people, it's like there's something that's right in front of you that you're like, ooh, that's really nice, you know? But you are like, no, I just, it's like you're closing your eyes against it, but it's right there, you know? And you're like, ooh, but that's, yeah, that's nice. And you're like, no, it's not going to work for some reason. So I feel like you have a lot of shoulds in your mind about like why it's the thing that you want cannot actually happen. And you're still like chained to that for now. And so it's preventing like a new start. But that new start is calling to you. That new start is coming for you. So it's definitely a time of healing. This Judgment card is coming up in almost every reading. And the sense I get in general for this month is that it's a time of just like cleaning out old stuff, figuring out what's not working so that you can get on the right path for almost everybody, you know. Just a time of healing and forward, time to go back to go forward. But for you, Virgo, it's more of like actually going forward and being like, oh, wait, no, that's not the way I want to go. So it's more of a course correction. But I don't think you're going to be able to necessarily, I don't think the course that you are meant to be on is going to be all that clear. Is the, that's the thing. Is like, I think what is the kind of the not right thing is going to be right there in your face, But I think the other thing is going to be like present, but not feeling like it's accessible or the way to access it is difficult. But it still seems like that's more where you're being guided. So yeah, this is definitely a time to kind of surface out of old patterns, And yeah, you're just getting the first glimpse of this path and how this could work out for you. And it's very good. But yeah, it's going to be, it's going to take time to all come together because that's how it's supposed to be. So that's the feeling I'm getting here. The big warning, I think, for the month is just to really check in with yourself. Don't say yes to anything that you don't feel 100% yes about. And even if you do feel 100% yes, double check yourself and make sure that it's coming from all the centers, and not just like your head or whatever. That's like, oh, it's time to do this, or like, oh, yeah. It seems like you could kind of talk yourself down the wrong path. So you need to check in with yourself a bit this month. So that's what I'm seeing for April for Vedic Virgos. Please get in touch if you would like a personal reading. My email address is theivyleagueastrologer@gmail.com and my info's down below. Thanks. Bye.